Sometimes kindness doesn't shout. It whispers in the rain, in the hands that reach out when no one else does. And for Ethan Miller, a single dad struggling to survive, one quiet act of kindness changed everything. A ride home that became the start of a second chance. In life, in love, and in hope. Ethan Miller was 37, a single father living in a small apartment on the edge of town. He worked 2 jobs, delivering meals by day, cleaning offices by night. One of those offices belonged to Brightline Media, a place filled with polished people, perfect smiles, and impossible dreams. And at the top of that tower sat Claire Donovan, sharp suits, quiet power, a presence that could silence a room. To Ethan, she was from another world, one built from success and marble floors. He was just a shadow, mopping reflections of her world. Still, every night when he cleaned her office, she'd offer a polite nod. No arrogance, no words, just a distant kind of respect. Until that December Friday. The office was glowing with music, laughter, and champagne glasses. Brightline's annual Christmas party. He finished scrubbing the kitchen floors when he saw people heading out, laughing, hugging, forgetting Monday existed. And then he noticed her, Claire, sitting alone on the couch, her glass half empty, her usual composure softened by exhaustion. When he approached her, she looked up with a faint smile. "Long night, huh?" she said softly. He smiled back. "Looks like it." She chuckled. "Everyone, except me." Moments later, she tried to stand and stumbled. Ethan caught her arm instinctively. "Whoa, easy," he said gently. "You okay?" She blinked, embarrassed. Maybe a little too much champagne. Outside, rain was pouring. Her assistant had already left. No cabs in sight. Ethan hesitated, keys in hand, then said quietly, "Ma'am, I can drive you home. My car's right outside." For a moment, Claire seemed unsure. She wasn't used to accepting help, especially from someone who cleaned her floors. But the rain grew heavier. She nodded. "Thank you, Ethan." They drove through the sleeping city. Streetlights blurred by the rain. Neither spoke much. Until she glanced at him and said, "You're a single dad, right? I've seen pictures in your locker." He smiled. "Yeah, that's my daughter, Lily. She's 9. Smartest kid I know." Something in Claire's eyes softened. "Must be hard, doing all this alone?" He shrugged. "Some days are rough, but she's my reason for everything." When they reached her house, Ethan parked and grabbed an umbrella. He stepped out, held it over her head, helped her walk across the slippery driveway. Rain rolled off his jacket as she whispered, "Thank you, Ethan, for not judging me." He smiled. "Nothing to judge, just get some rest." He didn't know it yet, but that small moment would ripple far beyond that rainy night. Monday morning, Ethan walked into Brightline, half expecting nothing. The receptionist stopped him. "Ethan, Miss Donovan asked to see you." His stomach dropped. "Me? Did something happen?" He walked into her office nervously. Claire sat poised behind her desk, confidence restored, but her eyes gentler now. "She wanted to thank you again for Friday. You didn't have to help me, but you did. And I realized I don't even know the people who keep this place running." Ethan waved it off. "It's no big deal, ma'am. Just didn't want you driving like that." She smiled faintly. Still, it meant something. Then to his surprise, she asked about his life, his daughter, his dreams. He spoke humbly, never complaining. Before he left, she said, "You would join us for lunch on Friday. I'd like to introduce you properly this time." He blinked. "Me? I'm just the cleaner." "Not just anything, Ethan. You're part of this place too." Friday arrived. Ethan wore his cleanest shirt and stepped into the restaurant. Executives in suits, silver trays, polished laughter. He felt like an intruder. Then he saw her waving, Claire smiling warmly. "Saved you a seat," she said. The room went silent for a moment. The boss and the janitor, side by side. But Claire didn't tear. She asked him about Lily, his dreams, his journey. Soon others joined in. The laughter returned. And for the first time, Ethan felt he belonged. That night, he told Lily, "Dad, you sat next to your boss. That's so cool." He chuckled. "Yeah, she's not as scary as I thought she was." Weeks passed. Claire began visiting him during late shifts, sometimes with coffee, sometimes just to talk. She shared her loneliness, the burden of leadership, the silence behind success. Ethan listened, genuinely, without judgment. For the first time in years, Claire felt seen. One night she said, "You know, Ethan, I envy you." He looked confused. "Me? Why?" "You have what most people spend their lives chasing, purpose. When you talk about your daughter, it's pure." He smiled. "She's my world." A few months later, Ethan received a letter, an offer from Brightline Media, full-time facilities manager, benefits, a real salary. He could hardly believe it. When he went to thank Claire, she simply said, "You've earned it, Ethan. This isn't charity, it's recognition." Tears welled in his eyes. "I don't know what to say." She smiled. "Promise me one thing. Don't ever stop being who you are." That summer, Brightline Media was nominated for a Community Leadership Award. During her speech, she paused and said, "There's someone here this night who reminded me what leadership truly means. Not power, but kindness." She looked at the front row. Ethan sat there with Lily beside him. "Ethan Miller, this one's for you." Applause filled the room. Ethan stood, stunned and emotional. Lily clapped with both hands, proud of her father. And as he looked toward the stage, he noticed something beautiful. An empty chair beside Claire, saved just for him. From that night on, their friendship grew deeper, not based on titles or status, but on mutual respect and quiet care. Claire helped Ethan grow, study, and start his own maintenance business. Ethan helped Claire rediscover laughter, humility, and hope. Their worlds had collided by accident, but stayed connected by choice. Because one small act of kindness can bridge worlds that were never meant to meet. And sometimes the person you help in the rain might just be the one who helps you find your heart again. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to Mr. Sagor's story, where every story feels alive, and kindness always finds its way home.